How's it going, everybody? Today we have a story about this weird girl on the school bus. Now, riding the bus is already an L to begin with. It kind of sucks. You get on a smelly-ass yellow Twinkie with wheels every morning. Like, it's just not fun. There's holes in the seats. Who knows what was stuck in those holes? I don't ever want to find out. Judging by the story, maybe I can draw some context clues. Anyways, yeah, without further ado, let's just get into it. So the subscriber is a new kid coming into school, and unfortunately, a lot of people thought he was just a weird kid. But at the beginning of the school year, the most unexpected thing happened to him. Now, his parents were like, oh, listen, subscriber, you gotta take the bus. And he was like, all right, whatever. So he started riding the bus to school. And the first 4 days, it was pretty normal. But 4 days later, a girl starts to just randomly take photos of him, which obviously he does not like. Like, no one's just comfortable with someone just randomly taking photos of them, especially when it's somebody you don't know at all. Later that morning, he learned that she's a 6th grader, which means she's like 11. And now, keep in mind, the subscriber was 13. Now, the girl was like being pretty persistent about like wanting to like get his number so they can like FaceTime or whatever. Now, he was kind of hesitant about the whole thing. He didn't really like her at all. But what he learned is that this girl definitely took a particular liking. So later that day, they did a FaceTime. Everything was going good, you know, they were just having casual small talk. They were getting to know each other until something happened. Now, well, you see, the girl like moved the camera up to her face. Now, mad people don't even like show their face on FaceTime. So I'm sure a lot of you are confused, like, what the fuck? It's called a FaceTime. Yes, I know. Well, she was probably showing her fan or whatever. But she decided that it was a great idea to play Truth or Dare. He decided, all right, let's play Truth or Dare. But during the game, like, she was trying to show her chest area. And at this point, he was just starting to get weirded out, and he didn't really know what to do. But he just decided, you know what? He was going to keep playing along. But I mean, it ended up getting to the point where this girl was just full on flashing him on FaceTime. He kept trying to ignore whatever she was doing, but it just made it impossible for him to ignore. Like, she was just constantly being extremely creepy. She was also starting to do other activities that you would do by yourself in a night in your room alone. And of course, since he was like really young, this low-key scarred him. He has memories of all this weird-ass shit going down. Now, of course, I'm not gonna describe in full detail what the weird-ass shit was because, you know, around here, we're Sesame Street friendly, all right? We're Susan friendly, whatever the hell you want to call it. But I mean, at this point, he didn't really know what to do. But then his dad found out about all this, and his dad was just like, yeah, you need to stop talking to her. Either that or just tell her to stop doing that, because like, you guys are both really young and shouldn't even be doing that in the first place. So he just decided next time he was on FaceTime with her, he was gonna tell her to stop. However, she decides to keep letting the devil's energy consume her around him. So this was on September 19th, and she just decided to full on just start enjoying herself in the camera. She was making sure that everything was seen, and it was just so fucking uncomfortable for him. And she started asking him if he wanted to see her body parts. And he's like, you know what? I'm good. I'm just gonna hang up now because this is just too much. So he was like really uncomfortable to begin with because this girl was in 6th grade from what he found out. All right, so one day he went on the bus, you know, as per usual, and this girl pulled out a vape. And of course, now vaping at home is just one thing, whatever, you do you, but it's really bad for you, I'm just saying. But why vape on school grounds or in the school bus or whatever? You're just more at risk for losing it. And if you do lose it, then you're just gonna be craving it. So, I mean, that just makes it worse off on your end. And of course, he got offered a hit. Obviously, he's like, no, I'm gonna pass. The reason why I don't vape is because if I did, like, I feel like I would get extremely addicted and then I wouldn't be able to fucking live without it. In turn, it would just destroy my lungs. When he got home from school, she sent him and his friend this weird TikTok of her just like twerking in a bikini. I don't know what 6th grade girls normally do, but why can't you like play outside, play softball or something like that? I don't know. So at this point, this kid's friend also gets in the mix with this girl like FaceTiming and doing all this weird shit. And of course, he's gonna help his homie out of the jam. He's just not gonna let all this slide, especially like when she's messing with his homie, right? Now, the subscriber's friend had a girlfriend, so they decided to come up with the revenge plan to be like, okay, okay? How the hell can we get her back and get her to stop doing this? So they decided they were going to try and get her mom involved. You know what? This might be the best plan of action because maybe her parents aren't paying attention to her at all. Maybe they don't know what the fuck she's been doing. And now he knew where this girl lived because, of course, she got on the bus every morning. And, of course, they just decided to just straight up go to her house and, like, tell her parents about this. Of course, the mom answered the door and they just straight up told her, look, like, your daughter's been doing some demonic things, like, on FaceTime. You should probably keep an eye on her. I'm just saying. But, of course, the mom said, oh, I will talk to her about this. And she didn't stop at all. She just kept going. And she did not learn her lesson at all until one day. Apparently, she went to school and did something much worse than what she did to the subscriber. After the subscriber told his mom, she left him alone, but she found somebody else that she was doing even weirder shit with that got her suspended. You could just use your imagination for this one. It was probably something to do with her in the bathroom, but you can use your imagination on this. I'm not going to say anything. Apparently, he's also heard talks about her around school. Like at lunch one day, he was sitting with his friends and heard that this girl apparently wanted to start an OnlyFans account. Bro, like, you're 11. Why would you even think about that? Like, bro, that is just fucking disgusting. Why would you even consider that? He realized how dark, like, shit like that can be. Like, when somebody is, like, really, really obsessed with the person and shit like that. For some reason, I never fucking finished this video. I don't know why. I'm sorry if I sound like I have a dick up my nose for the rest of the video, but I'm sick right now, so yeah. Anyways, the next story is about, like, this e-girl on the bus that the subscriber of mine knew. So now when they met on the bus, they kind of noticed that they had like the same interests as each other. Later that day, they found out that they rode the same bus every day. They were talking in class about like whatever the hell that people talk about in class. Now everything was kind of going normal at first, and you know, it was like they would just casually talk in class and on the bus. One day the subscriber just sat down on the bus, right? And you know, everything was going normal. And then this girl came up to him and basically asked him out. And now keep in mind this was in like the first week of school, so she was like coming off really strong here. I mean, they like just met each other, so I mean, he didn't really know what to do at the time. He thought at the time, okay, well, I mean, she does seem nice, so he just timidly agreed, even though he wasn't really sure of, you know, what she actually was like since they only knew each other for a week. He was just like, whatever, I'm gonna go with the flow, whatever happens, happens. Now, fast forward 3 months, they were getting along pretty well. Everything was going pretty good. And, you know, it was no problems whatsoever. They lived happily ever after. The end. Thank you guys for... Fuck, no, that didn't happen. Okay, what happened was that this girl basically said, you know, hey, do you want to see a TikTok that I made? He was kind of sketched out at first because he has never heard of anything of her TikTok. You know, he thought maybe he would have heard of something, right? Something like it. He thought that he would have knew about it already since they kind of knew each other for like 3 months. Now, I'm going to assume they were officially dating. You know, I don't really know what happened in between the first date and 3 months later. I'm not sure. But to be honest, I don't know if that's really that important to the story. But what's important to the story is that when the girl showed him this TikTok, right? And basically she was doing some dance. I think it's called 02 or something like that. I have no clue. I know absolutely nothing about TikTok. And she basically did it with barely any clothes on. Now the subscriber kind of just looked at her in shock. Like he didn't know what the fuck to do. I mean, he was just like, yeah, that's great. So at this point he was like, wow, this is really who I've been dating for like the last 3 months. What the fuck? So that day at school, his friends saw the TikTok and they were all like, what the fuck? And they were all telling him, bro, dude, you gotta dip. Like, I don't care how in love with her you are, man. Like, this is just for the streets material, bro. They were like, yeah, man, you gotta dip, like, ASAP. What the fuck is this? They were all at lunch, like, at the table together, sitting there just looking at her TikTok. They looked at some of the other videos. It was just her doing dances or whatever. And nothing really stood out to them. It was kind of just, like, the same shit. Until the person who was on their phone decided to read the bio. And the bio said something just so fucking cringy. It said, hi, I'm a cute, whittle, sexy e-girl. UWU. And when he read that at the time, he didn't know what to do. But now his mind was saying, dip. What the hell are you doing? Why are you even still here? Like, just dip. But oh, ladies and gentlemen, it gets worse. This is not the end. So the next day, you know, he gets on the bus as if everything was normal. He said absolutely nothing about like the TikTok videos that he saw, right? He was kind of like, okay, let me just see how this plays out. I don't want to do anything right now. So he's on the bus, just posted in his seat. And this girl, right, she just fucking sits on his face for whatever reason and proceeds to moan while sitting on his face. He was like, all right, what the hell is like getting you going about the bus, bro? You know, we got smelly ass seats, holes in the seats. Like, bro, what is getting you going about a fucking bus? You know, he never really got it. So he just kind of pushed her off of him. And he was like, okay, what are you doing? He was like, fuck, people are staring at us at this point. So he didn't really know what to do. He was kind of just confused the entire time. He just, like, you know, tried to push her off of him, but after that, he was kind of just, like, sitting there. After all the shit that she did, he was like, you know what? I think I finally need to say something. You know, I haven't said anything this entire time. So he basically just tells her to fuck off because it was just so weird, like, all the shit that she did. He basically asked her, like, why are you even doing this in the first place? Like, we are on a fucking bus right now. What are you doing? And then basically she got mad at him and she ended up just slapping him and just running away. Cool. I guess this took place after school because she ended up getting off the bus at her stop. But then came Friday. Now, Friday was a very, very interesting day, all right? He didn't know what was in stake for Friday at first. He was like, okay, maybe that's the end of this whole thing. But literally at school on Friday, her and her furry gang, like, yeah, she had an entire fucking gang unit, bro, of furries. Like, I can't believe it, bro. What the hell? So I guess, you know, the entire squad pulled up with some cat ear drip, I don't know, tails, whatever the fuck. The gang contained a lot of weird kids. I guess we'll leave it at that. And basically, they all just, like, watched and proceeded to record videos of this E-girl, right? And she basically said, oh, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you. It was literally, like, as he got off the bus. So, like, not even 5 seconds into the fucking school day, he's already getting assaulted by a math book. I mean, that's literally the last thing he probably predicted was gonna happen, to be honest. And now this E-girl was weak as hell, alright? Like, she had no build whatsoever, so obviously she was not doing any damage with this math book at all. So he kind of just stood there as, you know, he was being beat over the head with a math book. I mean, it didn't really hurt at all. All the furries were gassing her up, like, oh, you go, girl, world star. Like, okay, bro, okay. Yeah, all right, bro. This is definitely gonna go on World Star. This is an amazing fight video. I'm sure everybody is just, like, in awe looking at this. Eventually, a teacher saw this all going down and basically sent her to the office and was like, E-girl, what the fuck are you doing? And she was like, oh my god. She was like, oh my god, no, it's not what it looks like. He hit me first. The subscriber said, well, you can look at the cameras. This girl literally just fucking assaulted me with a math book. How about you just send her to the office? So that's what they did. The school saw what happened and basically just sent her to the office, and basically she got expelled instantly. He reported basically everything that went down. He had to snitch, bro. Like, you know, sometimes you don't snitch, but that's on your homies, bro. If somebody does this to you, bro, you gotta snitch. You gotta say something, because I personally would not let that slide. Comment bus if you made it this far. Thank you to my channel members, the goats. Y'all are real ones. Appreciate you. Binge watch the stories. It really helps the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.